All right, I'm making a quick follow-up video to my video on how to make impulse responses. And what I've done is I've made an outboard patch using some outboard gear, and I'll show you that stuff in a minute. And basically, it's the same patch as last time, same preset, using the cartographer amp. And instead of a cabinet this time, I'm using an effects loop. And in the effects loop, I have some outboard gear that's operating as a cabinet simulator. And it sounds like this. Not sure that's how that's going to come out on the little tiny camera mic, but at any rate. Okay, so this is the outboard patch I've built to go along with the Helix right now for a quick cab sim. And what this is an old school Lisa's Quadriverb GT that I used to play with in the 80s, in the early 90s. And it had a built-in cab sim program, which by itself wasn't great, but the way I used to set it up is kind of neat. And I'm going to show you what I do. What I've got basically is, if you go into the preamp section, you've got a cab sim program, and I used cabinet simulator number 2 here. And I have the preamp set to a presence setting, which just gives it a little high-end gliss and makes it sound a little bit more realistic and more like it's in the room with you. Then if you take a look at my configuration of my patch, I have a graphic EQ and a delay. Now what this is doing, if you go to my graphic EQ, you can see it's a really low cut, and then it's just basically a mid hump and then a high cut with a little bit of shelving in the real high end. And then what I have is a delay, and you say, why are you using a delay? Well, if you take a delay and you set it at 1 millisecond, what you can do is you can actually create a phase relationship, like if you had multiple speakers in a cabinet, like a 4x12 cab. Depending on where you stand, it always sounds a little bit different because you're getting the phase relationship of multiple speakers, and there's little different distances from the speaker to your ears, and your ears hear that. And so you can create a relationship that phases a little bit. It's called comb filtering, and this can really help things sound more real if you're going for that amp in the room sound. And the other thing I did is, if you go through the rest of the delay parameters, I have a very short feedback, 7%. So doesn't have a lot of repeats, just really, really short feedback. 1 millisecond, 7% feedback. It's just a very short burst, and it fits inside an impulse response without getting truncated. And then it comes out of this unit and it goes into the BBE Sonic Maximizer. And what this is it's really just a high and low shelving EQ. But what these units do, the nature of the type of filter that's in them, they actually delay the bass. And I'm not sure if they mess with the treble, but they definitely delay the bass and set the bass a little bit behind. And it's, I know there's a lot of hoo-ha about these units, but they definitely do this. So you can take a look. I made another video about this unit to show what it does. But I use this, and it kind of just polishes it off and ties the whole thing together and makes it sound pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to delete this, because it won't let you cut it. And we're going to put it down here, just like last time. And so now I have that effects loop, which is an effects loop 3, which is the outboard patch. Again, we're coming in USB 3, 4, and going out 1 and 2. So this again is set to go, and we'll shrink this down, and we will go to my impulse response utility, and we will check this bad boy out. Again, we're coming in, we're going to set this to channel 3, channel 3 and 4, on to record, test tone, adjust our level. Right about there, and we should be good to go. Turn that off, and then we're going to hit sweep. It's running through the audio spectrum. It's capturing this cab sim that I've created. That's funny looking. And now it's done, and we're going to save it as Quadriverb. BBE. Hit save. Okay, and now we hit deconvolve just like last time. And we got our little impulse response. We're going to zoom in on it. here, and we're going to hit trim it down. So we'll start right here. I think that's the whole thing, right? That looks pretty good. And we're going to hit crop, and then we're going to hit create setting. Okay. Okay. Shrink this. Back to Audacity. Open. It's thinking. Come on. Got the pinwheel of death. Okay. Quadriver BBE. Open. Okay. Now we're going to go to File, Other, Export as Wave. Save. Okay. Out it pops. Goodbye you. Let me save you. Go back to Helix. Come up here. We're going to put an IR lock in, just like last time. And we're going to go to our IR impulses here. And we're going to drag this bad boy. And we're going to put it in slot 16. And then we're going to set this to 16. And let's see how it sounds. Let's compare it now with the effects loop. Fairly close.